Important communication patterns. Their use of tones, kind of we were talking about music and having those similarities. Music, with the music, the emotions and the tones of it, having similarities with the language. The tones are and emotion are seen very important in their language. Two words can be perceived as two completely different things based off of how you say it and things like that. The nonverbal communications is also important because if they don't, or a Hmong person doesn't understand what you're trying to say or how you're saying it, they'll kind of base it off of. Then they'll try to understand by looking at your nonverbal communication, your cues, your body language, and then the tone of your voice. So also all very important things when speaking within the culture and trying to be respectful and things like that. Some more important things, to know when communicating within the Hmong culture. It is seen as respectful to ask for the head of the household, especially kind of very traditionally, but it is seen as respectful to ask to speak to the head of the household when trying to communicate with a Hmong family. Avoid making direct eye contact while having conversations. Try not to say no too quickly or a lot because that tends to be a sign of disrespect. And most traditional elders do not want strangers to touch their heads. I kind of found this as an interesting thing. They don't want the strangers to touch their heads as well as members of their family's heads based off of kind of religious beliefs. And then also refrain from shaking hands with the Hmong women, kind of as I was talking about earlier. It's not necessarily seen as a normal thing to them, so it can kind of catch them off guard and things like that. It is important to stay humble and polite, as well as not raise your voice or speak forcefully. Kind of going along with those lines about they're very humble and respectful people, and the tone of the voice and kind of how you're coming across is kind of very important in understanding and communicating with them. In conclusion, the Hmong culture holds their values and religious beliefs very highly. Their cultural patterns and social roles seem to play an important part of their lives, especially within the more traditional Hmong families. Some Hmong families that have migrated to the United States have definitely been influenced by the American culture, but most of them still find it important to remember and celebrate their cultural roots. So that is my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was wondering if the culture is the same for Hmongs that live in America.
Yeah, I would say a lot of these things, these points are definitely, I would say, more traditional Hmong families. I think, moving to the United States and kind of getting used to the culture here has changed some of those aspects. I know some of the guys I work with, they don't necessarily follow the same religion, shamanism and things like that, that traditional Hmongs do. And like I said, the roles have definitely changed, but when we're talking traditionally, this definitely all applies and things like that.
And why don't they like to make eye contact?
That I do not know. I'm not sure about that one, but it definitely is. And like I said, that's again another traditional, kind of more traditional Hmong culture aspect. Because the people I work with, the Hmongs that I work with, don't seem to have that. I mean, I asked them about it, and they did make the comment that is kind of seen as disrespectful when we're talking more traditionally, and the elders and things like that are used to that traditional culture. But I don't know the exact answer to that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.